When it comes to testing the softness of products in commercials, there seems to be nothing more useful than an ordinary egg. Now, Charmin toilet paper used one to drop on a stack of their tissues. Spenco used one to test its bicycle seat pad. Bounty bounced a dozen eggs to test their paper towels and how strong they are. And Eclipse used several dozen to test their bicycle basket. We challenged these commercials with varying results. And now comes another commercial using the incredible edible egg. This time, it's used to show how the padded inside of a running shoe protects the heel of the foot to absorb the punishing and pounding that runners and joggers experience. In the commercial, a man ties an egg into a Brand X running shoe. Then, he does the same with the Etonic Quasar. When he slams the shoes down, the egg breaks in the Brand X shoe. But the one in the Etonic shoe stays intact. We decided to challenge that commercial ourselves. We called upon veteran commercial challenger Dr. Webley Freon, who took careful pains to select the most crucial element in our challenge, the egg itself. Entering his lab, Dr. Freon places the first egg into the other shoe and ties it carefully, just the way they do it on the commercial. He does the same with the Etonic shoe, and he is ready for the test. Uh-oh, trouble already. Now the other shoe. As you just saw, Dr. Freon just couldn't keep the egg in either shoe. Now, when we checked with Etonic in Boston, we were told that they only ran that particular commercial as a test, and they rejected it on the grounds that it wasn't scientific enough. And then they produced this one.
If you think all running shoes give you the same protection, you're in for a shock. Only the Etonic Quasar has this special plate to help disperse shock and provide stability. Dr. McGregor's foot cradle for cushioning and a rear lacing harness for a custom-fit heel. Quasar? Conventional shoe. Now when you think about running more shock-free, think about Etonic Quasar. You'll be a step ahead.
Jack Ketter of Livermore, California, saw that commercial, and he wanted us to challenge it. And you know, that's exactly what we did. To do this part of the challenge, once again, we have brought in noted egghead, Dr. Webley Freon. Now, Dr. Freon, the eggs are not staying in the shoes. What are you going to do to keep the eggs in the shoes? Pins. At this point, I was getting very skeptical. Pins to hold in eggs? What kind of a solution is that? Oh, I see. The pins are used to cradle the egg. The heads of the pins are covered with rolled-up pieces of double-faced tape. The tape is used to stick the eggs to the pin, holding the egg in the shoe when it hits the floor. Are you ready? Let's go and do it. And the tension mounts. Both shoes are now secured to 8-foot boards. The length of the boards were carefully calculated to represent a force applied when a person drives his or her heel into a running shoe. But the question is, after all this preparation, will the eggs stay in the shoe? I hate to say this, but Dr. Freon is in trouble. Though the egg broke on the floor and not in the Etonic shoe like it did in the other shoe, Dr. Freon still has to come up with a solution to keep the egg from bouncing. And that wasn't it. The egg still didn't break in the Etonic shoe. It bounced so hard that it ripped out 2 of the pins and took them with it. But it still didn't break until it hit the floor. But there was no bounce in the other shoe, and the egg was broken. It looks like Dr. Freon is now getting desperate. This time he puts a piece of tape over each egg. This should solve the problem, he hopes. It still doesn't work. the Etonic shoe bounced out both the egg and the tape. The egg was destroyed in the other shoe. Determined to solve this problem, Dr. Freon decided to go all the way.
Here we go. Ready?
Himself. And of course, Dr. Webley Freon was played by our loving producer, Lloyd Thaxton. He deserves a hand for that. But the big question is, did the commercial pass our challenge? When we told Etonic about our problem of keeping the eggs in the shoes, they not only sent us the original boards used in their commercial, they also sent 3 people from Boston to show us how they kept the eggs in the shoes. The pins were actually their idea. However, it seems that since the original commercial was made, Etonic added more soft padding inside the heel. They said that is what caused the eggs to bounce out when we tried it. Now, the egg never did break until it bounced out of the shoe. And even though our challenge failed, the Etonic shoe passed with flying colors. Do you agree? So do I.